We will see. Done redirecting to live Facebook. Martha, you have some fans out there.
What was that?
You have some fans.
Oh, yeah?
I think you and Aaron are both going to be pulling in some fans. Okay, we'll just give it a few minutes for Aaron to join us. We are live. So Marissa, if you want to go to my Facebook, you can go ahead and do a watch party and share it.
Share now, right?
Yeah, share watch party now. Did you click watch party?
If I'm on yours.
Okay, we'll just give it a few minutes for Aaron to join us. We are live. So Marissa, if you want to go to my Facebook, you can go ahead and do a watch party and share it.
Oh, share in a group watch.
Yeah, share watch. You want to click on share, and then it will give you an option of watch party.
I just shared it in our Facebook group.
For Aaron to join us. We are live. Martha. You good?
I think so.
You think you're sharing it? Marissa, if you want to go to my Facebook, you can go ahead and do a watch party. And muting you. Let me go see Marissa's. It's going to be good. Let's see, Marissa. Hey. Let's unmute Aaron. Marissa, did you figure it out?
Yes.
So you think you're going live on your page?
I think I'm going live on my page.
You are, I see it. Okay.
How do you do that?
So Aaron, I just went live on my Facebook page. If you want to just go on your phone, go to Marybeth.
Yeah.
And then find the video that's going live right now and just do a share and do a share watch party. It will stream on your page.
Oh, cool. I didn't even learn something new today.
I just learned it about 2 seconds ago.
Start watch party. Okay, I've never done this before.
It's great because you girls are hot and everybody wants to know what we're going to talk about, and I love it. Okay. Matt is behind he's the man behind the mask.
Yeah.
Just make sure that all 3 videos are what's taping and what everybody is seeing.
Yep. And I shared it into our Facebook group, so it's already there.
Awesome. Okay.
I think there's like a little bit of a lag, or no?
Into the Facebook?
Yeah.
A little bit. So I always shut the volume down so you don't get distracted.
Wait.
Got it.
Hold on. Okay, my volume's all the way down. Oh, I've never done that before.
Yeah, and then we're going to clip it for you so then you'll be able to use it.
Oh, thanks.
Make it look all pretty.
Hi, Marissa. Nice to finally meet you.
You as well.
I know we've spoken, I think, a couple of times, but through Dana, right?
Yep, exactly. But I never actually, like, besides your video, I love that on the bottom of your email, when you responded, how you guys are right there. That's awesome.
Oh, thanks. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Okay, great. So we're going to get started. And I'm going to have a really good time today. I love it. So excited. All right. So for everybody that's out there, I am Marybeth Olive. My co-partner, Julie Costa Fiore, is not here with us today, but she will be back. So I just wanted to have some awesome little one-on-one time with these 2 beauties. I'm going to let them introduce a little bit of who they are, but they're very dear to me in that we kind of run in the same circle of powerful women. And so whether they've known it or not, they've inspired me in different ways. And I hope I could be able to do the same for them. But there's nothing better than having a good group of women or men, whichever it is, to really kind of just talk some of these business challenges, life challenges through. When you're working in an industry like this, you're also creating friendships for life. So this is two great examples as to what could come from really diving into your career and making sure you're creating great connections. So I'm going to introduce the two of you, and then I want you to take it away a little bit. Marissa is in the Toms River, New Jersey market, and I'll let her speak to what her volume is and who she is. And Erin is in the Hudson County market, Jersey City, Hoboken, all up in that pocket. And what's really special about these two ladies is that they also work with their husbands, and they're super powerful. And if you would, I think we can learn a lot because their husbands are super powerful also. And yet there's just something about these ladies that kind of just stands in the front of the business. And we're going to dive into a little bit of that. I have a special question in there that I thought was appropriate. But Marissa, could you just share who you are, what kind of volume you do, what business you came from before, and really like where was your business in 2019? We're going to talk about 2020.
Sure. So I'm Marissa Demare. I got into real estate when I was 18 years old. So I fell into the business by accident when I was a freshman in college. I worked for a top producing agent as an assistant, literally stuffing envelopes, and then moved up to getting my license. And I've been in real estate ever since. So when I graduated college in 2009 from Rutgers, it was a hard decision for me to make because I was already in production. I had already bought a couple of investment properties and flipped them. And, it was this ideal of, I thought I was going to go into the city, into corporate America. And I was like, but I love real estate. And I'm so glad I chose that route. So I am in, my market center is actually Lavallette, New Jersey. I live in Toms River. So we cover southern Monmouth and Northern Ocean County here. And I am recently, in the past year or so, transitioned my personal business to Naples, Florida. So we have a lot of fun stuff going on.
We do. We're going to dive into a lot of that. And so now you were 18 when you got started. Who told you to get into real estate?
Lawrence McCowan. Lawrence McCowan, actually, my friend, she worked at a gym. My friend Heather worked at a gym. She goes, this guy, he comes in all the time. He wants me to work for him. I can't, but I think you should. And I went and I talked to him, and here I am today. Almost 14 years later. I can't even believe it.
I know. And so, Erin, isn't it crazy? 18 years old, she got into the business. 18 years.
I'm way older than you, girl.
Well, people were like, what did you do before real estate? I'm like, high school. I went to high school.
I would have started when I was 18.
What was that?
I wish I would have started when I was 18.
So tell us about your introduction into the business and who you are.
So I'm Erin Downs, and I service basically Hudson County for the most part, all of Hudson County. Jersey City's like our little hub because we live here. We also service some pockets, very small pockets of Essex County, the Oranges specifically, and Newark, because it's so close to us, and a lot of our clients moved out there. I got into real estate. I've been in the fashion business for 20 years and worked for some major shoe companies across the country. The last company that I worked with was Steve Madden. And so I worked for that company for 12 years and then kind of went off and did another brand. And at one point, one of the designers said, I'm going to get my real estate license. And this was in 2014. And I just had like this light bulb go off in my head. And I said, well, I could do that because I wanted out of the fashion business. I was tired of being on a plane every week and traveling overseas. And, I was getting older and I wanted to be with my husband. And so I basically went every day, every night after work and got my license and quit my job and went full into real estate in 2015.
So you did a second career. You had a first career. This is your
career. Yeah, but I was always in sales. So I've always been on the wholesale side. So I would work with the big accounts like Macy's and all of those type of accounts on the wholesale side.
So Erin, where is your business now? Where'd you end off in 2019? who is in your business, and then a little bit about what were your goals for 2020, not where are they now, but what were your goals for 2020?
So 2019, we ended up doing just shy of 30 million.
Amazing.
But we carried over like 8 million already into this year. So that didn't close. So it was kind of a bummer. I really wanted that 3 in front of it, but you know, and then basically my husband and I work as a team. So I primarily work with all the sellers and he works with all the buyers and investors. And then that's kind of how we've modeled our team. It seems to work really well, where I can just stay focused on selling our clients' properties and I'm not being torn 20 different ways. And he can solely work on helping investors with their investments and working with first-time buyers and stuff like that. We have a full-time assistant, transaction coordinator, that handles everything from top to bottom, A to Z. And then we also have a part-time marketing person that works for us Monday through Friday, helping on the creative side of all of our videos and stuff like that.
Awesome. I want to hear more about the videos in a little while. What were your goals for 2020 walking into it?
So walking into it, we were trying, we're going to increase our business. Obviously we're not going to, we're still going with our 2020 plan. So we're not getting discouraged. Our 2020 plan has not changed. We still want to do the same amount of volume, the same amount of transactions. We took a little bit of a slowdown between March 15th and April 15th, but we've kicked it back up and we're in high gear now.
Awesome. Okay, hold on to that because I want to know what are some things that really got you out of that 30-day dip to come back up. Marissa, talk to me about who's in your business. What did 2019 look like? What was 2020 goals?
Yep. So 2019 I was pretty much working by myself for the whole year. I had built a team and then I was I don't want to say leaving, but transitioning down to Naples. And as soon as I left, it wasn't working out. So I came back, I took back the reins. I worked by myself with my assistant, Tara, who's absolutely awesome and is on maternity leave right now. So I'm really missing her, even though I'm happy she's with her family. But she's similar to how Erin's assistant is. You know, she pretty much handles everything from marketing to transaction coordinating, contract to close. And then Darren works on the construction side. So even though we work together in the business, he's not an agent per se. He works more on the investment and the construction side for our clients.
That's right.
So last year I was just shy of 20 million. And this year we're looking to continue to increase that. Same as Erin. I feel like this time during the whole shelter in place was a slowdown to speed up rather than a complete shift in goals, which is pretty exciting. We honed in really on what we want to do and accomplish. And I brought on 2 awesome agents who are full-time in the business, who work together, Jody and Kelly, and they came on just before this whole, we set up the office and then we couldn't go there anymore. So that was pretty interesting, but just bouncing ideas off of them through this whole time and continuing to push each other forward. I feel like we're going to hit those goals.
Yeah, great. So talk about that, Erin. What you had that 30-day where it did quiet a little bit for sure. For those of you who are listening and you're not in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania also. Pennsylvania was a little more strict. They shut down the whole state. But being sensitive around our areas, New York and New Jersey were hit really hard. So that 30-day for me, I felt like was necessary to not be intrusive, to let people figure out what was going to be stabilizing for their families. And then of course we had people that got sick. But so talk to me, because you guys were having a lot of fun over there, quarantined, the Downs, beach day, all sorts of stuff was happening in that house. Can you just tell me, how did you set your mindset to get through this time? And why do you now feel like you're positioned to even maybe, hit those goals, maybe even exceed them?
I think the mindset, it's a muscle, right? It has to be built over time. And if you actually have built the muscle and done the work prior to, then it really just kind of, when things really go strange or different, which is what happened to all of us, the mindset is a muscle. And so we already had built that muscle. And we also surround ourselves with nothing but winners. So it's hard not to be positive because everybody in our circle is, let's go, let's like ride this out, like we're going to be okay. I mean, we were taking every safety precaution possible, right? We weren't going out, we quarantined, we did everything right. We're still doing everything right. We are doing everything to protect our clients, to protect ourselves, to protect buyers. But I think that, you know, if you really have the mindset to get through something, then you can really get through anything. And so we just, you know, we're not giving up on our goals. I mean, I love the fact that Marissa's in the same, you know, Marissa's saying the same. It's like we have the same mindset. I mean, our goals are our goals. Yeah, we had a little setback, but let's go. Like, I mean, let's figure out how to make a comeback from that, right? So we're working crazy to try to make up for the little loss. I mean, we've been pretty busy. I mean, thankfully, knock on wood, we've been really consistently busy during this time.
So does that look like, you know, I agree. And to understand that it was a 30-day that was really extreme. And then people kind of got over it. Like, I still want to buy a house. I still want to talk to you about selling my house. Did you pivot into virtual conversations like this? Did you have to change anything that you were doing that was working? Did you have to change it a bit?
Sure. I mean, everything came down to virtual, right, Marissa? I mean, it was virtual listing appointments, which was interesting because I think I've only done a couple ever where I've done it virtually. But in that case, it wasn't the same situation. It really came down to figuring out what were the needs and wants of our clients and what was the most concerning. And I found out, digging deeper and deeper after asking most of the questions or questions being asked to me, is I want to feel safe. Like, if I put my house on the market, how am I going to be safe? And how's everybody else going to be safe? And so we ended up putting some protocols and safety protocols together. Russ and I sat down and we put some rules together, and we started sending that out to all of the people that wanted to sell or wanted to buy. And once they kind of felt comfortable with that, then we, you know, kind of hit the ground running, and we've just been moving forward.
Awesome.
Protocol, safety first.
Safety first.
Yeah.
Chris, what has that 30 days been like for you?
Ours looked the same. You know, I did take a little bit of personal time. I had a blog that has been on my mind for some time that I wanted to launch, and it's called Health, Wealth, and Real Estate. And I took that time and I did it. And it took a lot of work and a lot of effort. And it was a zone that I'm used to, like, go, run with the clients, do all this stuff. So just take that step back. And that was really exciting for me. Because I was able to take that time and get that done, as well as continue to stay in connection with our clients, but on a different level. I feel like, you know, not that I don't always consult with them, but it's a little bit more, they call me when they're ready, we move forward. We stay in touch, we go forward. But it was really like a case-by-case basis. Some people we advise not to sell right now for one reason or another. Maybe it was a personal situation they had, or, you know, they had 3 kids and 2 dogs and homeschool, and it was just too much for them. And we actually advised them, like, hold on, wait a second. Let's launch at this time because it's going to be better for you on the flip side, because something that we're all talking about now is inventory super low. So once they sell their house, I mean, I haven't had a homeless client in 14 years. And I always joke, like, I don't want you to be my first. So really taking like the precautions to say, like, okay, well, what makes the most sense for your situation? So we did a lot of that. And I feel like people really appreciate that. And a few people had said that to me, like, Marissa, that's what we love about you. You're just always honest. Like, you're not sell. Hey, why don't you try renting this house? You don't need to sell it. Keep it. Stick a renter in there. Build long-term wealth. And they're like, what agent says that? And I'm like, well, I want your business for the long term. So continuing to cultivate those relationships, reaching out to past clients that I hadn't talked to in a little while, and just saying, like, hey, how you doing? How's your family? That was a lot of fun for me, and it will continue to bring business as we go forward.
I agree. I mean, reaching out to people, and we actually reached out to everybody. I mean, we have been touching base with everybody, and mean, we are finding some sad stories in this, and to be able to provide anything that they need. I mean, we donated some meals to some of the hospitals around here. We're doing something next week again. We've been trying to promote all of the small businesses in our area as much as we possibly can on social media. So all of those things are really reconnecting us with people that maybe we hadn't seen in a couple months too, and now we just kind of get to reconnect and kind of love on one another, because this is crazy times.
It really is. It really is. I want to pivot a second because you both touched on things that I know about you, your passions, and Erin loves animals. We know that. Marissa loves health. We know that. Did I hit it on the head? Is there something else that you're super passionate about? How are you incorporating that in your business? Forget about COVID. Maybe there are some things that you have done because COVID has brought a need inside of those areas. Marissa, to your point, your blog, and if those of you who are watching and listening, Marissa has been extremely an amazing positive influence in my life. I've actually gone to an organic lifestyle that I am working toward perfection with, but I'm getting so much energy, and it was just to the point where I didn't know what to order or how to. And she just went ahead and put this amazing list of ingredients that I needed. And so I think that's going to be part of what she's putting out there with her health blog and stuff. But who wants to go first on your passion? Because your passion is what I think I'm attracted to the both of you for, because there's that inside love and authenticity.
You can go ahead, Marissa.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go first since you kind of started it. I love a story. And what I found is that I buy products based on people's stories. I want, like, as simple as this organic deodorant that we use that doesn't have aluminum in it is made by this family out in Colorado. And they send this handwritten note when I order this deodorant from Amazon. And it sounds so silly, but I just love that. And then I reflected on all the things that I buy and all the things that I have in my life. And I'm like, wait a second. I'm not sharing my story with our clients and our people. And that's what people like, is to do business with people that are similar to them and have the same interest and, do what they can to progress each other's lives forward. So that's where I incorporated my blog, and to, accelerate our business is just to attract those similar like minds and inspire each other, really.
Well, Marissa, you have to send me your blog, because I am all organic and I don't eat meat. And so I try to live, me and my husband try to live as healthy as we possibly can all the time. So I'm super interested in hearing more about that. So
that's awesome.
Okay. So yeah, this time has actually helped us in building our rescue. My co-founder, Carrie, and I, and we basically kind of teamed up. Russ and I started this 501c last year, and then we really hit the ground running in October. And so I've been able to basically kind of do the back end stuff. Our website's finally up. You can visit it at nextchancerescue.org. We've been able, my co-founder and I, Carrie, we've been able to save probably, right now we have about 26 cats. I have a pregnant cat. I keep looking down because I have a pregnant cat right here that I'm fostering right now, and she's about to give birth. And then we just rescued a dog out of New York. So we're starting kind of slow, but we're building. And the biggest thing we need is really sponsors, like monthly sponsors and donors, so we can save more. But the ultimate goal is for me to have an actual warehouse that I can buy. So I'm hoping if the market shifts a little bit, I might take an advantage sometimes next year on the commercial space side. But that's the ultimate.
So somebody out there is listening and you have a warehouse and you have a passion just like this girl about saving and rescuing animals, maybe they'll give you a little discount.
Hey, you never know, but I want to have a facility for Next Chance Rescue so we can put animals in there and get them adopted out to safe homes. So.
Okay, so Matt, if you could type that in the chat, that'd be awesome. So it's nextchancerescue.org. And Marissa, your blog is
healthwealthrealestate.com.
healthwealthrealestate.com.
I love it.
Awesome. And so would you say that those two passions have definitely introduced you to clients, groups of clients?
say absolutely. I mean, I was going to a listing appointment the other day, and it wasn't even an introduction from that, but I guess they checked out my website, and as clients do, they Google your name before you get there. And I didn't even make it through the front door. And the guy was like, "You like health, so does my daughter. You should meet her." And it was like the most adorable thing. And I was like, okay, and it's cool because as you share those passions, the connections just come through. And as Erin just said that about the animals, I have like 2 other connections. I want to introduce her to people who have done something similar or want to do something similar that I think could get along. So when you're in that mindset of, wanting to help other people achieve their goals because they're so passionate about them, those people just come into your life. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely helped. I mean, my co-founder and I, Carrie, she's also a realtor. She's actually in real estate. She does in New York only. So she's been completely shut down for the last 2 months. And so she's been like 100% into Next Chance Rescue, where I've still been working a lot. I mean, my business did a small slowdown, but I've been consistently business. She's like, hasn't been able to do real estate at all. So she's gone full throttle and just gotten us like really, really crazy busy in the rescue business. But it opens the doors for fosters, adopters. I mean, our clients have actually adopted and fostered some of our animals. So it's really, and made really nice donations to us so that we can help more.
That's right. Yeah. So, and kudos to you for getting that 501c3 set up, because it's not easy. It's a lot of diligence in that. But it's a great start to something that's going to be amazing and big for you. I have a question about the significant other, working with the significant other. And I'm not making any assumptions that there are any challenges at all. I really am not, but I know that husband and wife are not, we're brought together to be one because we are different in some ways. So to see how that shows up in work is probably real interesting. What do you do if your significant other does not have the same growth mindset that you do? And it may not be now, may have been other times to kind of catch them up, or we have to catch up. And there's a jealousy or resentment or any other kind of negative behavior that may be hurting the relationship and having you question whether or not even that dream is worth it to put that relationship on the line. How do we deal with that in our relationships in business?
A lot of questions all in one.
Yeah. Whatever's calling to you in that question.
I would say, I'm really lucky. Russ and I share the same passions, the same dreams, the same goals. I know that sounds, but I've been married 20 years. Like I've been with my husband 21. Oh my God, he'd kill me. 21. We just celebrated 21. I
think you had something about how your marriage can have a drink now or something. So you should be remembering that.
Probably. But I do know people that one couple has this intense mindset where they're just trying to get their other significant other to think that way. And I'm not sure if it really works. I don't know. I don't have that problem, thank God. But I think you have to have the same mindset, and you have to think big, and you have to have the same goals. I just don't see how it would not work long term. That's my opinion.
So being that you have that, you've basically grown up together, because clearly you're only 29. So basically did grow up together, though, a young couple, then now 21 years together. What has been a secret to make sure that you've stayed on the same page then? Do you listen to similar things? Do you go to certain kind of seminars?
I think what really helped us when I got into real estate, we got into coaching right away. I mean, I got my license in June or July of 2014, but I was still working in the fashion business, doing it really part-time. And then I finally just quit, and I immediately got into coaching. And we've been into coaching now for 5 years straight. And it's all about mindset. I encourage anybody listening to this that's in real estate right now it will change your mindset. It will change your business. It will change your life if you get the right coach. I 1,000,000% believe in that. I would never get rid of a coach, like ever. I'll be coached for life.
Me too. I totally agree with you. And thank you for saying that, because it's so important that a health coach, a professional, I know that Russ used to work in the fitness world, right? So fitness coach, spiritual coach, whatever, you need a coach for all aspects of your life. And business, if you're working with your husband or wife, it would probably be the first thing you should definitely be putting in there.
I also
have that mediator.
I just one thing, like one of the things that people really should look into is the 7 domains of life. You know, how is those 7 domains and how would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? So we just had our coaching call yesterday and I had to rate all of those 7 domains where I'm at right now. And I looked at some of them like, wow, I need to step up and improve on some of these because this is how I'm feeling. But then I go back every like 3 months and I look at where I was at that time and I'm like, wow, that shifted. So your life, your 7 domains of life are going to shift all the time. So that's something to really Google and look into if you're not familiar with those, what that is.
Absolutely. Because like I've seen in my life that maybe somebody's spiritual journey is at a 10,
right?
But their financial journey is at a 1 because all they're doing is they're in the word. And it, you know, God gave you the word. He also gave you the ability to go do. And so you have to, in order to provide and give back, you need to get that financial number up a bit, you know? So, but then maybe there's a time where you go, okay, well, forget about the spiritual. And then you're going to now dive into the financial. And now your spiritual is going down and something, it's that crickety wheel that when we're not feeling right, it's because one of our spokes is off. And so Marissa, how about you? How do you and Darren, our lovely Darren with all his fun jokes and fun videos, sends me all the time?
Oh, that's Darren for you. No, you know, I was similar to what Erin was saying is you have to have I think that in business and in life, you have to have a partner that's on the same, you know, a similar journey that has similar beliefs. You know, you see these couples that just have opposite, even down to like political beliefs or whatever. And I'm like, how do you, these certain foundational pieces of how you want to eat and live and run a business, I feel like need to be somewhat in line, whether you work together or not, to have that long-term relationship. And on the other side of that, the ability to constantly grow and change and become better in all these different aspects of life. And Darren and I have similar dreams and goals, but it's interesting in that opposites attract, in that we'll get to the same end result, but we'll probably do the job differently. And we've learned so much from each other about that along the way. So we're not the same people that we were. Well, we're the same people, but you know, we're not the same as we were 5 years ago. And knowing that we'll probably be different in 5 years from now, and we're okay with that, knowing that we're both growing, you know, together.
Yeah. You know, I've had the opportunity to watch Marissa grow since, gosh, what is that? 2008, maybe 2008, 2009. And, you know, we've both been able to watch each other grow in who we surround ourselves with and just relationships. I'm so glad she is where she is. You know, we have this journey of life of all these people that come in, reason, season, lifetime. And I just believe that all 3 of us have really found our partner that we're going to do life with, we're going to do everything with. And, you know, for those of us who maybe don't have that, I would just encourage you to take a look around the couples you're hanging with. What example do we have around us? Maybe sometimes it's not necessarily our fault and that what we grew up with or who our family is and who we spend time with. And yet we absolutely can control, you know, who we choose to be with and what kind of relationship we choose to have. So I will say that hands down, and I think I watched Marissa go through this, that when the right partner was in our lives, everything started working a lot bigger. Everything started seeming like, wow, really doable. And happiness was, you know, and not to say anything was wrong or bad. It's just when the right one is there and the partnership is solid, there's no stopping a couple that is definitely together. And you know, in a spiritual way, we talk about unequally yoked. It's the same thing in the mindset. If you don't have similar mindsets, or if at least you can't see each other's side of the beach ball and know that it's important to each other, you're going to have a constant struggle. But at least if you can be, you know, hey, listen, you walk, I walk, we do this together. You have a chance for great success together. So talk about consistency. Consistency in, is there anything else you want to add about working with the husbands?
No, I think it kind of parlays into any relationship, right? Of, you know, whether it's your husband that you work with or an assistant or someone on your team, it, you know, to have that mutual respect for one another, and the fact that, you know, finding what they do that's their passion, like how Erin works with the sellers and her husband works with the buyers, and they have someone else to do these jobs. It's like when everyone is in their place that is their highest energy level, that's how everyone is the happiest.
Absolutely.
Their wheelhouse, as we would call it.
Yeah.
You in your wheelhouse. If you're in your wheelhouse, you could just keep going, going, going. And so going, consistency. How do you ladies stay so consistent? Because the business has grown year over year. You've grown year over year. How consistency? What trick do you have in your toolbox for that?
Coaching.
So coaching, is that a weekly thing for you, Erin?
Yeah. I mean, I firmly believe, I think, like, listen, I mean, I built this muscle. I mean, if I didn't have a coach, I probably would be the same person. I don't know. I mean, I just firmly believe in having a coach, and the coach that we have is not just a real estate coach. He's pretty much like a life coach. So he coaches us on everything on our weekly calls. We're in a big mastermind. But I think, again, I go back to that muscle that you have to build. I mean, they always say that there's 66 days of transformation, right? It takes 66 days to build a habit, whether it's good or bad, right? So we've just come out of more than 66 days, and, you know, I've gotten really strong in some things, and I kind of lost a couple of things during this time period as well. I mean, you know, I did. I mean, I consistently worked out. I never stopped. But did I get up exactly at 5 o'clock in the morning? No, I didn't, because the days were really long for a long time. Now we're getting out a little bit more, so I'm getting back to my usual schedule. But I think that had it not been for coaching and just having built that muscle, I wouldn't have consistently stayed on, you know, in touch and in my business as much. So.
Okay, awesome.
Similar to what Erin was saying, it's all about who you surround yourself with, and then what makes that okay. You know, if you're surrounded by people that aren't doing anything, you're going to feel subconsciously like it's okay to not do anything. But if you have those accountability pieces and, you know, and the counterbalance, like it's okay not to get up at 5 a.m. every single day. If you get up at 6 or 7, but you still get your workout in and your calls in and, you know, everything that you want to accomplish, like that's okay. And it took me some time to realize that, because I would often like beat myself up for not doing certain things. And I realized that it was counterproductive. So now I just, you know, similar to the One Thing book, like everything in life is that counterbalance. So as long as you continue to counterbalance it, you'll always stay on track.
Yeah.
You have to, I think people, you know, I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody during this time I was 100% perfect. I absolutely was not.
Right.
100%. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay not to be. But I will say that, you know, it's the 80-20 rule. I probably was 70-30 this time around. You know, I say no, because I really did. I was not perfect, and I didn't do everything I was supposed to do, but I did the majority of what I was supposed to do. And that's why I was able to keep on track with, you know, the majority of everything.
And I would bet you that you referenced the One Thing book. I would think that did you do your one thing? If you did your one thing, everything else became unnecessary or easy. And so as long as you got that one thing and understanding what the one thing is. So understanding for you, Erin, what is that? Is it X amount of calls or contacts, X amount of appointments a week? Is that something that you and Russ track?
Yes. Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, it was basically making sure that we were touching base, you know, with people, our past clients, our friends, our family, and checking in with everybody and making sure they're okay. I mean, going back to Marissa's point, though, this was a very precious time for a lot of people. If you have a why, and if you have dreams and goals, to focus on something that meant a lot to you. So, you know, Marissa was able to get her blog going. I mean, she may not have had that time any other time. It might have taken her another year to get that going, right?
Well, how many years did it take you? It took you years.
Yeah, I mean, I had been thinking about it and kind of putting it like in my mind for probably years. Yep.
Yeah. And same with me, like with Next Chance Rescue, I don't know how I would have been able to do what we did. I mean, we were able to find a team of people. We actually got our website donated to us, and she's on our team, and we basically formed like a real rescue at this point. And I don't know if we would have had time to do everything that we did in the last couple of months. So it was a blessing, because that one thing ended up being our dream that we were able to kind of put into fruition.
And I feel like a lot of people during this time, they took that time to realize like, wow, I can be happy without like fancy dinners. Yeah. I can be really happy just hanging out at home. And what is my passion? And why is that so important to me? When you're in that go, go, go constantly, sometimes you lose that. And I mean, I'm guilty of it. I think we
totally
all are.
guilty of it. Thank you. And thank you for just having this honest conversation, because I think people need to hear that. It's not perfect all the time. However, there is a plan. You know, I'm watching Erin talk, and I'm thinking to some people, she says, yeah, of course I track that stuff. And you guys know me. I talk to so many agents throughout the country, and it's not typical that everybody tracks their numbers. Track what? What am I supposed to track? And we talk like that because we're running businesses. And so I'm listening and I'm hearing, it's not too late for anybody, even though, yes, the three of us have definitely collected on this time down to spend it a little bit more with our husbands, spend it a little more on our dreams, make sure our database and our business was rock solid. Yet some people are maybe listening going like, oh, I did not do that. And now it's over. It's not over.
Not over.
Today is the next best day. I think what's the Chinese proverb? What's the best day to plant a tree 20 years ago? Second best time is today, right? So today is a great day to turn that leaf and say, I got inspired a little here. I'm going to keep a schedule. I'm going to stay consistent. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to find my passion, and I'm going to start it today, not Monday, today. So, I appreciate this conversation, because it's not all pretty, even though you ladies are so pretty. It's not all pretty all the time, right?
It's not perfect. And that's why I'm not going to sit here and say that, I was 100% during this time. I wasn't. I had my days and my moments. I mean, when we were doing our videos, we were putting out that content. We went to the French Riviera one day and had champagne. I don't know if you saw our videos. But I
don't know if anybody saw that. Marissa, you now know Erin. If you look back through her Facebook threads, her and her husband are just hanging out, having drinks on the beach. They're here, they're there, and they're in their apartment. So it's fun.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to check it out. I did check out your video, Erin, on your email response, and you and your team do a give back to a charity of a client's choice. And we adopted that same thing back in 2018. So okay. When I saw you put that on there, I'm like, wow, like minds, they really do stick together. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's been an amazing thing, because
share that with us so that we know what Marissa's referencing.
So it's charity of choice. So for any referral that we get from anybody at the closing table, we will donate $300 to the charity of their choice. So it's been a great way of giving back, because my husband and I, there's nothing better than giving back to whatever charity that means the most to our clients. So we love that. And I'm glad. It's crazy, Marissa, you're doing the same thing. So, I mean, I encourage anybody to, give back. I mean, we've donated thousands of dollars last year to different charities. So
that is awesome.
And we always donated, but I found that when we started donating to the charity of the client's choice, it made a bigger difference. And what's so cool is we probably donated to 30, 40 charities by now, but so many people, sometimes we make donations 10, 12 times in a year to the same charity, because people's heart is in the same place. So it's been really great for us and cool to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. And video, we mentioned video. Erin, can you share with us how important video has been in your business and how you've kind of used it?
I mean, it's been huge. I mean, my husband, I have to give every credit on our social media and marketing and stuff. It goes to my husband, and we've got an incredible marketing assistant right now. She's the one who came up with the whole tripping at home and the video. She said, why don't you guys just drive and pretend you're in the French Riviera? And I said, okay. She goes, do you have a scarf and can you paint your, do red lipstick and put on some sunglasses? And so we got into character, and then it just trickled into more.
Awesome. Where'd you get her at?
Nobody can take her. She's awesome.
Oh, no, really though. What field did she come from? Where'd you find her in?
She's a marketing background. She's in our area. So
Okay.
We met her through friends, and then she works for us right now.
Wonderful that she'd even give you those ideas.
Yeah, but so the videos are huge. I mean, I think that just even our Dreams in Progress videos, we're on season 2 episode. We're in season 2. We have episode 2 coming out soon. So we did like 8 episodes last year, and then we've been in COVID, so everything you'll see that's coming out is going to be like, COVID stuff. But those really help. I mean, people recognize us, people know us, and it's entertaining. I don't know.
To Marissa's point is that they know your story. They get to know a little bit of who Erin and Russ are. It's not just the real estate agents, Erin and Russ. I mean, they were in Tulum, Mexico, and you could see the love with their friends. And so it just gets them a little inside of who you'd be working with, not just the real estate agent, the Downs, but the people. And so I am inspired by that. And, Dana, who is my best friend and friends with all of us, is one of our girl crew. She introduced us to Erin. And so I know she's inspired by that video as well.
Oh, I can't wait to check them out.
They're so cool. Well, the Downs are so cool. And so are the Demares. Actually, Demare, would you like to share how you came to that last name?
Sure. We made it up, actually. We created it. So when we were getting married, and unless you want to hear a lot of stuff from a lot of people, I'm not sure I would suggest it. But we were driving one day, to be honest, and we were in traffic on the way home from a wedding in Maryland, and we were just going back and forth with these crazy ideas, and we started out like combining our names, and then when we were getting married, we thought that instead of me taking Darren's last name, that we would just create our own and start another branch on our family tree. So we were playing with different ways of it, and we came up with Demare, and I'm like mostly German, and Darren's Italian. So we wanted to keep like something similar. And that's kind of how we created it.
I love it.
That's awesome.
And sometimes we were like, why did we do that? And then we're like, oh, because we can. And that's really the idea of, part of why we did it, to like show people you could do whatever you want in this life if you truly believe in it. And we did it not to, be different or make people mad or anything like that. We did it because it was something that we believed in and we really wanted to do it, and we saw it through. And that goes with anything in life, no matter how crazy someone's idea is. I mean, I was talking about it the other day. There's a millionaire out there that created the pool noodle, a piece of foam that you throw in the pool and float on. Like, how many people thought that his idea or her idea or whoever invented it was crazy, but they believed in it, and we all buy pool noodles still.
Love pool noodles. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I have just a few questions left. One is business owners in 2020 that have felt the heat of COVID. What could we give them as far as advice to just pivot, and what's the one thing that they can do to maybe get their business back up and running? And, real estate agents or local businesses, like, what's one thing that they can do that can get them back on track to being a profitable business?
Well, I would say, I hope you never stopped. I hope nobody, I know there are some people that did, but I truly hope nobody completely stopped and just took their foot off the gas for 2.5 months, because there was still things to be done during this time, and really important things, whether it was, organizing your systems You know, that would have been a huge project that if you don't have systems in place, this would have been a great time to do it. So I would say if you haven't started, that would be the first thing I would start with, is sitting down and figuring out what are your systems that you want in place. Maybe you're doing command and, you know, watch those 66 days of command and get those systems up in place. And if you haven't made the phone calls to your database and to your family and your friends and friends of those friends, start picking up the phone immediately and making those phone calls.
Right.
You know, people are still going to want to hear from you, whether you think that they do or not. Get the monkey off your shoulder and know that you'd be surprised how many people will be really excited to hear from you and be grateful that you made that phone call.
And that's great advice, because just as that 10,000 pound phone that we don't want to pick up in regular prospecting times, this may be a time where you go, well, I didn't call them, so now they're probably thinking like, Erin didn't call me. I don't like her anymore. She's not my, that's not what's happening, guys. So get that out of your head, that they're counting who called, who didn't call. To Erin's point is, they probably would still really appreciate the phone call. And, you know, we've all been through a lot in the last 2.5 months. So if they even had that question come back to you, Erin, how come you haven't called us? You know, we've been going through a lot of stuff here ourselves as well. I'm sure you understand. I trust you understand. You know, figure out what that combat script might be so that you don't feel like inept. But I promise you, they will appreciate the call. Marissa, is there one thing that you would tell business owners, agents to just do to get themselves out of this crunch?
I would say ask for help. You know, that's one of the biggest things, whether it's from a coach or from clients, like, hey, we're gearing up and I have buyers looking in this area. Can you help me? You know, whether it's a business owner reaching out to their clients or people who would frequent their restaurant, like, hey, can you help me spread the word? We're offering these lunch specials now, these dinner specials. And that's how communities come together. And when you ask for help, people want to help. That's usually how it works.
Great point. And I'm going to hope everybody takes action on that, because businesses are starting to open up again. It'd be nice that you're the resource in your local area to let everybody know, even just the neighbors, what businesses are opening. How can we support our local businesses? Here's what they are selling. Here's a list of things that you can get from this guy. It's not too late to be that local resource, where some people might say, oh, well, so-and-so already started that page. We'll start a new one.
Exactly.
Send out, go and take a walk and put stuff in people's mailboxes. I don't know. Not the mailbox, not the mailbox.
20
The
people.
door, the door. The
Every
screen.
small business needs 20 people helping them promote their business. So don't feel like just, well, if somebody else is promoting it, that you can't do the same. They need our help right now.
They need our help. And we spoke with Brad Korn this week, and he was saying 100 transactions for everybody. And we're not going to even touch each other's toes. I mean, there's enough business out there for everybody to go. And there's no reason why somebody can't create a system where you're selling 100 units a year. And I want that for both of you ladies. So last question is, and it's a weird one, but somebody asked me this question and I just appreciated it. So if you could put one thing on a billboard that people would see every time they drove by it, what would it be?
Mine's a two-part, because one is the other. So I'm just gonna say, okay, so I'm a huge fan of Napoleon Hill. And I do believe to achieve anything, you need a burning desire.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're bored with your life, you don't get up every morning with a burning desire to do things, then you don't have enough goals. Your goals are going to fuel why you get up every single day.
Right.
What is your goals in life? You can't just be here just to be here. What are you going to do to make a difference in your life, your family's life, your friends' lives, and others that are around you?
Yeah. If that was the billboard all over the place, everybody would just we would have a better world. Better world if everybody knew what their goals were and everybody was just, burning desire, running towards it. We wouldn't have such negativity out there. So
Mike had to remind me yesterday. He's like, I know what your why is. I know, and I know you and Russ are grinding right now. but like, have you guys really like looked back at your goals? Have you looked at them? And I said, so me not being perfect, right? I said, no, I know in my head, but have I looked at my pocket plan?
Right.
The answer was no. And I need to get back to that, because in all of our coaching sessions, when we do our masterminds, he makes us draw out what our vision, what our life is going to look like. And I could show you my book from 2015 to 2020 or 19, because I haven't done a mastermind this year. Mm-hmm. And almost every single goal that Russ and I set, almost like, has grown. We've done something to that effect. So I encourage everybody to write out your goals, put a vision board together. I know it sounds stupid to some people, but it really, if you work towards it, it comes true.
Right. There is an awesome goal setting retreat that the Papazans do. Jay Papazan is the co-author and the author of The One Thing. And they're doing it virtual. So the cost has gone down tremendously. If you go to theonething.com, you'll find that there. There's also a VIP ticket, which is probably what my husband and I will be doing, because now you don't have to fly out. You don't have to have the hotel. So for the VIP ticket, you get the access to all the information, but you get that mastermind with some exclusive people to create that network, other couples, and it's not only for couples, there are for singles and also for business partner goal setting. So I do agree with that. I love that answer. Marissa, what would your billboard say?
My billboard would be pretty similar, but it would be like in all caps, like I'm yelling at you. Invest in yourself and invest in real estate. Because so many people don't invest in themselves to be able to figure out what their why is, what their goals are. And if you don't take that time to figure out who you are, you're just going to go through your whole life living someone else's dream. And investing in real estate is the easiest way to build long-term wealth. It's as simple as buying a property, sticking a tenant in there, and letting them pay off that mortgage. Doing it again and again and again as many times, or buy a house for yourself instead of paying rent. I mean, I was listening to Ben Kinney's podcast yesterday, and he was saying how the average net worth of a renter is $5,000 and the average net worth of a homeowner is $231,000, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just by simply living, you can create wealth that will outlive you. And if you don't invest in yourself to figure out why that's important, that's always the first step.
That is awesome. That's a great plug. There is a Win, Make, Give podcast. There's also a Win, Make, Give wealth building series right now that I am involved in as well. And also the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace class I'm in to just get clarity around the goals, the financial, the actual plan, like Erin was talking about, the nitty gritty, what's the plan? I have a lot of that stuff up in my head too, and on my board. And yet, if you're not looking at like the action steps that you're taking and what you need to do to get to it, it could unravel, or it could just be like a dream. And so invest in yourself, invest in real estate, set goals. I love it. Is there anything you guys want to add that I might not have touched on? Did we have fun today? Do you guys see why I put you together though? Like Erin's like, that's so like me. That's so like me, Marissa. They're very similar.
Calling each other soon.
Yes, I believe so. And also just a reminder from the beginning of this, you're also positioned. One is in the south pocket of New Jersey and one is in the north pocket of New Jersey. So if you like what these girls had to say, they're pretty similar. You got the whole state of New Jersey covered in referrals right here with the two of them. Right? Oh, and by the way, we got Naples, Florida also. So all right. Well, I would like to just then end this call and thank you for your time. Erin Downs with Erin from the Downs Group and Marissa Damare with the Damare Real Estate Properties? Damare Group?
Yep.
Yep. And we are going to go ahead and post out their passions, which is, go ahead again, Erin, what is that?
Nextchancerescue.org.
Okay. And Marissa?
Healthwealthrealestate.com.
Awesome. So we're going to push that out and we're going to hope that you visit these ladies. And if you have any referrals, send them their way. And if you're attached to what their passions are, connect with them and see how they can also pour into you. So thank you guys. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.
Thanks, Marybeth. Bye, Erin.
Bye.